Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and my goodness, what a good day. Beautiful day. The park is full of people. The air is crisp and fresh, and I am on the way to the river to talk to the birds, to feed the birds, to feed my soul and build my energy. And I'm bringing you with me. And you saw the title, You Cheated. I haven't decided what it'll be yet, but it's going to lend itself to something about YouTube has once again not allowed me to monetize this channel. And I want to explain my position because I did bring it up briefly before. And I think my position was misunderstood, and I want to make sure it's clear. But there is a family right in front of me, so I'll be back in a different spot in a split second. And there we go. New spot, same talk. I decided to do a walk and talk down to the river and explain myself fully. Because for a lot of people who don't know, I was first monetized, I think in 2013 or 14. I was monetized all the way to 2019. It was a difficult time. It really was. I found being monetized while you're doing something like explaining medical cannabis, which is what I was doing in 14. It was always about the legal market. But I was forever having certain videos demonetized because they were of adult nature, they kept saying, and they kept saying about it being illicit narcotics being sold and or distributed and or something else. It's a fancy thing that I'll show right here. You can zoom in, do whatever you want, but that isn't what I'm doing. It's Canada. It's legal here. And it wasn't legal recreationally back then, but they allowed the videos. They just wouldn't monetize those videos. But you all know, I'm just moving around because, okay, there might have been people there. But I do an awful lot of videos that are family oriented, and recently a whole bunch of short videos just entertaining family stuff about birds and walks and dogs and scenery. And they monetize that now. So in 2019, they said to me about my illicit narcotic blah 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 that there was a lot of videos on my channel that did not meet the community guidelines, and that I was to edit and or delete those that don't meet the guidelines and then reapply. I will be very honest with you. I spent over a month. I downloaded everything just in case I lose it, and I went through every single video. And if any video had anything to do with cannabis, I put an adult only tag on it because I didn't used to do that. Shame on me. Didn't know. Anyways, I also deleted some that I thought were inappropriate, talking about my ex-wife or family. So I cleaned up but you know what, during that time, a whole bunch of you, starting with Eddie1367, I miss you, Eddie, said, just get Patreon. Dude, just get Patreon, because they're fucking around with you. They're never going to pay you right. You're not getting enough money for the amount of work you have to do just to manage the relationship with them. So I opened a Patreon, and I used to, from YouTube, get about $200 a month. So not a lot, but that's $2,400 a year. That's not a bad chunk of change for an old man. And but I didn't reapply, and I ended up on Patreon. The link is below. I ended up on Patreon with some 15 supporters, and I was making a good 130, 140 for a while per month. And that was paying for all of this stuff and allowing me to buy some cannabis to do reviews for all of us. But now I think what we need to do is morph to the river, and I'm going to talk about present day. I'm going to talk about what we talked about on the live show, that I reapplied, and this is what they said. Morph to the river. That's a much better background. Now it's time for my peaceful thoughts. But yes, where were we? I applied for new monetization. I figured my channel, since then, they have gone through with a fine-tooth comb, and they have constantly sent me, we think this one should have been adult and you didn't make it, so I said, okay. You know, those aren't strikes. That's just them making sure that your channel abides by community guidelines. So I figure I'm in the clear. I asked for monetization, and as I showed before, I'll show it again. They say the same thing they said before. In other words, they're basically telling me that my videos of cannabis, for legal cannabis in Canada, in a country where it's legal federally shore to shore, have to be deleted, have to be gone in order for me to monetize the other stuff that isn't adult only. Now that doesn't make sense. And here is where opinions may differ, and if yours differs, that's cool. Talk about it. Comment below. Let's carry the conversation. I enjoy that. I may not be correct, but I'm correct for me for now. And as I learn more, whether it comes from you or life, my correctness changes because my thought changes. And we should all be that way. But my opinion is, if, first of all, YouTube is bound by the law of the country in which it's being viewed, and the laws of the country from where they sit. But there are things they do for different countries. I'll give you an example of Rumble. Rumble was told they had to get rid of certain videos that did not meet France's guidelines. Censorship. They wanted them to censor certain things, and Rumble said, well, then French people won't get Rumble because the government won't let Rumble be Rumble. And that's the kind of stand I would like to see in a company, is freedom. Freedom of expression. It shouldn't even matter if I'm showing legal cannabis or quasi-legal psilocybin or talking about DMT, as long as I've got an adult flag. And YouTube is missing out on a lot of stuff. I know many people in the business. I know there are hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars in advertising being lost of people who want to advertise to this community, the cannabis community. And being legal in Canada, very simply, by their guidelines, they could open up that type of cannabis in Canada as a vlog type, and then they could associate advertising to these channels and even do that. But even so, for my channel, they could have done exactly what they used to do from 2014 to 2019, was demonetize any of my adult only videos. It's stupid, it's a loss of money, but there's a whole bunch of family oriented videos that get an awful lot of views that they could make money off of, which they aren't. I could make money off of, which I aren't. I ain't. I am not. I don't know. But that's my opinion. So if you're still around, and this is the part I hate doing, but that's why I saved it to the end, because very few people, except those who really care, stick around to the end. Those who really care, some of them don't stick around to the end, so I don't want to make judgments. You know what I mean. But if you're still watching and you want to help support this channel, you want to help this hippie stumble through and continue on with his work, and I like this kind of work, if you want to help, below there is one-time only PayPal. You can just send whatever you want, contribute to the channel. But if you use the Patreon link, and you know what, $2 a month, $5 a month, it doesn't matter. It gets you Hippie Unplugged. I do a couple of videos every month. If I get more people, I'll do more videos of me without any edits, talking very in depth about some rather more difficult subjects that I don't put on YouTube, because I know YouTube don't like it. What a weird world we're in, where we have to watch the words we speak, even when we speak the truth. Folks, stick around though. Next video, I'm just going to show you that coming up is why I wanted to monetize this. I have a plethora of beautiful things that happen down here at the river, and I share them often, and I'm going to share them with you right now to see. This is why you stay with the hippie. I said stay tuned for more. The birds aren't here today. Beautiful day like this, I'm sure they found some wonderful place to go and enjoy the rest of the day. So I'm going to say, there's Calgary, the city, and here's my place, our place. And yes, Troy, I'm looking for a rock, especially for you. So we'll see what happens. And I'll say goodbye for now. But there'll be more of these. I don't care what YouTube does. I'm here. Oh, and look what happened. If you wait long enough, the birds, they come. So at least I was able to share one of my chickadees with you. Now I'm going to that part of the island where a few less people, and I'm going to have some of my medicine, and I'm going to take it easy while you all smash that thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed, because YouTube tends to take that away from us once in a while. Peace and cheers, friends. Love and harmony.